Planet Dolan.
From being a perfectionist to constantly apologizing, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about more annoying habits that drive everyone nuts. I'm Pringle the One, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by MiggyVer106. Doopy's annoying habit would have to be her OCD. If she notices something is off about her friend's hair, she literally can't help but try to fix it. One time, Doopy and her best friend were walking to class when she noticed her friend had one strand of hair sticking off the side while the rest of her hair was behind her ears. Doopy immediately threw her arm up to go and fix it, but the spontaneous movement caused her friend to flinch. They ended up in an air arm wrestling match. With her friend trying to keep Doopy's hands off her head, she eventually got the strand of hair, but now her friends keep her hair messy just to annoy her. Number 9 was submitted by joceti. Hellbent has an annoying habit of laughing at the pain or death of anything. If a person gets hurt, he'll laugh. If a car hits an animal, he'll laugh. One time, he showed his mom and sister a video of a guy shooting squirrels in the head with an air rifle. While Hellbent was on the ground laughing, his mom and sister stared at him in shock. How could you be like this, Hellbent? How, you evil person? Number 8 was submitted by EVILQUEENCHELLE. Well, Pandora apologizes all the time for everything. Not just for things that need to be apologized for, but literally everything else. Like if she's at work and thinks she's taking too long to ring out people's items, she'll apologize. Or if she's asked to do something and can't do it, or if she fumbles around with her purse when she's buying something and feels like she's holding up the line, Pandora even apologizes for apologizing too much. Number 7 was submitted by Dragon Shivers. Nixium likes to crack his joints and not just his fingers. He cracks his jaw, neck, spine, knees, and even toes. When he begins, it's like a wave. It starts in the hands and arms, then to his head, and finally his knees and toes. Nixium gets the knees to crack by placing a foot firmly on the floor and doing a half turn with his upper body. But the cringiest part of all is when he bends his toes on the floor and applies weight to crack all the toe joints. If someone stands close enough, they can feel the vibrations of the popping joints in the soles of their feet. Number 6 was submitted by Ral365. Dolan's brother is a night owl in a family of early birds. Before he found his first apartment, he always liked to stay up late, mostly watching YouTube videos or playing video games on his computer, while the rest of his family was sound asleep. There was a time where he wasn't so good at staying quiet. He often got hungry and went to the kitchen, but he'd wake his family up with the creaking steps of the wooden floor, especially those that slept in the basement bedroom. He also woke his siblings up from flushing the toilet after using the bathroom. Probably the worst time was when he accidentally woke up his mom, and she gave a loud, angry rant about him staying up late and grounded him from the computer for a week. It was the angriest he ever saw her in ages, and he was on the brink of fainting as soon as she left his bedroom. Number 5 was submitted by DreamSailor01. Gergak has always had this strange habit of clearing his throat. Ever since he was a little kid and saw a cartoon character do it on TV, he was psychologically hooked on the action. No matter how many times he tried not to think about it, or how many times his family or friends yelled at him to stop it! Oh my god, it's so annoying! Gergak just ended up doing it out of force of habit. The problem is, it's gotten so bad that he doesn't even realize he's doing it. In fact, one time after taking an exam at school, he overheard one of his classmates whisper, "Did you hear Gergak in class? He was making freaking mucking noises the entire time!" Needless to say, ever since then he's been working on it but isn't so sure about his progress. Number 4 was submitted by the Brother 34. McCollum is just a damn perfectionist and he can always be an ass. At school during the mornings, his friends who are artistic people would always draw. Every now and then McCollum would come by to check their work. He would usually tell them,
"The line isn't straight, this looks contorted, and the head looks like a damn potato."
They'd answer back with an annoyed face and reply with, "This is anime," or "This is a cartoon character," and McCollum would be, "Shh," getting them triggered. The worst part is, in class, whenever the teacher writes a certain letter wrong, particularly the letter E, he twitches his hand and clutches him into 2 fists. The average teacher then sighs and asks him to get over it and stop distracting the class. He kept doing it anyways, without control or hesitation. Number 3 was submitted by lordbitememan. Something Emoji does when he's unconscious drives his wife absolutely nuts. When he's sleeping on his back, he'll bend his right leg at the knee and his foot will be flat on the bed. Then, as time drags on, his foot will start to slide little by little, shaking the whole bed as it does. Finally, after several minutes, his leg will fall straight again. And then he'll bend his knee again and start the whole process over. His wife does everything from nudging him so he'll roll over, to insist he sleep on his sides. Number 2 was submitted by Calvin Hinshaw 1. Well, Spinal Palm's mind can be pretty chaotic. What would happen is that he would imagine many scenarios, worlds, and etc. in his head. If he imagined that he was talking to a character or characters from an anime or some other show, or if he was narrating several different things in his head or reenacting events in his head, or etc., Spinal Palm would end up whispering by accident. Nobody would notice it except his brother and his dad. Also, nobody would be able to make out anything on whatever he was saying. His brother would get all snippy at him saying, "Stop whispering, it's really annoying." His dad would say, "Who you talking to? Do you have an imaginary friend?" This would piss Spinal Palm off every time his dad said that, because that wasn't the case at all. He would respond,
"I'm not talking to anyone."
This happens almost all the time. Number 1 is submitted by me, your narrator, Pringle1. My most annoying habit that drives people nuts is that I stare at them. When they're eating food, I stare at them. When they're writing down notes to their paper, I stare at them. When they're looking at their computer, I stare at them. When they think they have some privacy, I'm there staring at them. I'm always staring at the people, no matter who it is, mom, dad, family, friends, enemies. I always stare down anybody. And when they stare back at me, I stare at them harder. I always make sure that people know I'm always staring at you. I'm always staring at everyone, no matter what. Luckily, I've never gotten my teeth punched in for this habit that I have. But usually people are pretty comforting and they ask me what's going on, and I just say I have a pretty big issue with staring at people. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the most desperate thing you've done to save money? Let us know on the Reddit page link below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Take care, everybody. Much love and appreciation. Peace.